Good morning, and welcome back to Good Morning Tobago right here on Tobago Updates again. I am your host, Shenell Felix, and if you're just joining me this morning, we have a special episode as we are talking about all that's happening in the community. Now it's time for one community, one people, and one hope as we are united for a better Plymouth. This morning, I am joined by the unification of leaders in the area, and this morning I have the privilege of sitting with Reverend Bernard Alleyne as well as Reverend Basil Edwards and Father Philip Isaac. Good morning and welcome.
Thank you so much.
It's a pleasure to have you all here on Tobago Updates this morning.
Thank you.
And we tip our hats off to you this morning for all the work that you have been doing in the community. Now, there is this saying that the work of the church is not just to stay within the four walls of the church, but to go out and impact the community. And so sitting within the community, the area, the district, and seeing the things that have been happening, you guys have come together to go out of the four walls of the church and have that impact on the ground in the community. Now, I remember during a previous conversation that I would have had with Reverend Basil Edwards, there was the island-wide march.
That's right.
And so can you talk to us about this unity that has created this united street march that's happening in Plymouth?
Well, let me say good morning to the host this morning and to all that are watching us today. Well, Pastor Alleyne is the one that actually, along with Pastor Phil and different persons in the group who would have that initiative. So I am just a part of it. Pastor Alleyne is the one who started that. But for us as a team, what we understand going through or doing street work in Tobago is very important, because we would have had that before. Sometime in the latter part last year, going from Scarborough to Lansford and then back to Scarborough. So when Pastor Alleyne spoke about it, I know it was a good initiative. Of course, we are out of the four walls, and now we are about to do what we have to do in Plymouth, make sure that we take back Plymouth for Tobago, taking back Plymouth for Jesus and do what we can do.
Right, and Reverend Alleyne, you have been in the area of Plymouth for some years, and you have seen the community evolve, develop. You've seen different events occur there. But I know that you have noticed that a totally different approach has to be taken now to reflect the times that we are in. As you and your team sit down and strategize on how to find new ways to appeal to the youth and new ways to appeal to the community, what have you come up with? I see you are now doing this march, which, is incredible that you've come together with a number of other religious organizations to do this. But what other strategies are you guys trying to implement to ensure that you see the time, you see the season, and you are doing what is needed to capture the people?
Good. So good morning, Tobago. Good morning, host. Yes, we have seen it fit to truly come together as religious leaders to truly affect Plymouth in a positive manner. You mentioned about strategy and going outside the walls of the church to affect lives in a positive manner. And so this is the first of its kind. It has never happened before, of bringing leaders together to affect our community. So we have actually started with Leaders for a Walk, where the leaders walk through the community and make our declarations of what we want to see God do in the community. Then we have had, from that, we have had our saturation within the community, where we have distributed our flyers to let people know what this is all about. Let me also say that what we are doing involves also the stakeholders of the community. the stakeholders of the community are involved. So they are contributing to what we are doing. Now, we have had hampers distribution last Thursday and Friday, reaching out to the people of the community. As leaders, we have been going and been seeing different faces, seeing religious faces, not from one church, but we are seeing different faces. Now, this week, we are having the street march, as you have seen there, and we are marching through, and we are also making declarations as to what we want to see happen for our community. You have heard about the crime. We don't want the crime, we don't want the hate, we don't want the vindictiveness, we don't want the malicious operations to be happening. We don't want to see people just gaping around. We want to see people actively involved, constructively, to do something to better their lives. This is what we are all about in the process. Then on that Saturday, the 22nd, then on Sunday to Tuesday, Sunday the 23rd to Tuesday the 25th, we're having 3 nights of crusading meetings. But let me hit back to Saturday. After the march, we will be having a time of praise and worship at the Plymouth Recreational Ground. Reverend Terence Baines would be with us, and he would also be having the time of praise and worship at the end of the march. So it is a time of refreshing there. Then the Sunday, as I said, Sunday the 23rd to Tuesday the 25th is where we end up with 3 nights of crusade. The police band of Trinidad and Tobago will be with us, and again showing identity with the public, with the community, that they are not divorced from the community, but that they are part of the community and want to see the best for the community. So we have included them to be a part of that first night of the crusade. Then we have the likes of 3 gospel ministers, Jaron Nurse, Dijon Pierre, Blessed Messenger. They will be featured on the Monday and the Tuesday.
Okay, and where would this be? Where would the crusade be taking place?
The crusade will be held on the Plymouth Recreational Grounds.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Excellent. And for you, Father Isaac, when we say that prayer still changes things, but there is the physical aspect of giving persons the actual social help and social assistance that they need. How important is it for the church to come together, pool their resources, and be able to make tangible changes, tangible impact on the lives of its people? Because I heard Reverend Alleyne talk about the actual food drive and the actual hampers that's giving out. You know, you say one thing, okay, I will pray for you. But when you pray for that person, they go back home and they're still hungry. So how important is it to have that physical or tangible intervention?
Well, I will sort of roll back a little bit to remind Pastor Alleyne that at one time we had some challenges up in Adventure, and 3 of us, 3 Christian ministers, went up to pray in that area because the area was really disturbed. And I'm saying that because specifically he said religious leaders, but in this exercise it is restricted to Christian leaders. All right, we recognize that we are all one in Jesus Christ. We all serve the same Jesus Christ. And we have had experiences, not only the one I was speaking about, going out as brothers in Christ. And we have had great successes with that. Plymouth, as a village today, has had successes in various areas. The Plymouth football team, the Plymouth All Force team and all that, they have been doing pretty well. But things have descended in Plymouth to a point where if a youngster goes for an interview and is from Plymouth, he will not get first choice. Things like that have been happening And we recognize that, yes, as brothers in Christ, we have got to appeal to our head with
Yes.
Jesus Christ for that. Now, I'm now talking there a little about the spirituality, but yes, indeed, when persons are in need, they need to see a face. When persons are in need, they need to have an actual person there with them. And the community activity that we have, the position that we have taken in the community, really, okay, we gather food stuff and we give out food stuff. We do give hampers, well, not only because of this exercise, but the churches, we do go out and interact with people and give hampers, like I was saying to Pastor Bernard. We planned to do it this week, right? But for under normal circumstances, we did some last week. All right, when we could have kept it back for this week. But nevertheless, ever so much, never too much.
Yeah.
But yes, people really need to have a human face. And our objective really is that Jesus put the differences in our faces so that we can show people Jesus' face.
Excellent.
All right. Yeah.
And to you, Reverend Alleyne, we saw right before our interview, the acting police commissioner was here, and he harped on the fact that it is so important to have that relationship with the organizations that are on the ground in the community. He spoke about the importance of working together with the churches as well as NGOs to have that community impact. How important is it to work along with the TTPS and other organizations to ensure that, you know, the strategies that are implemented come from all sides? Because we know when it comes to crime and criminality, they are now a very strategic and complex organization. So the church and the TTPS has to now be able to keep up, you know, with the ever-evolving nature of crime and criminality. So how are you planning to work along with the TTPS to ensure
Just
that you
think
have
about
that
it.
impact, you know, from both of you guys?
The TTPS, the head of the TTPS is here. And he's saying it is good to work with the community. All right, and we want the churches to get involved. And he walks out here, 3 feet away from here, and he meets a group that is coming to tell you that we are working with them.
That's right. That's right. So there could never be a divorce. There has to be amalgamation of this aspect with the police and the church, working together to bring healing.
That's right.
Working together to salvage, because you would realize that the police involvement in communities, they are going after those who are after doing the wrong things. But with the church involvement, the church becomes as a salt in a community to seek to preserve. And we of course, we are helping the police, a matter of fact, in their job. So once we can see lives transformed and change and become better, the police work is less. You know, so we work together for the good of communities and to see the best outcome for our citizens. Yes.
And for you, Reverend Edwards, how important is it for this unity among leaders and churches? And we know that although we have the churches represented here, there are a number of other churches that are not here this morning that are a part of this unity for a better Plymouth. So can you tell us about the other organizations that are part?
Well, we recognize that in working for Christ, it's not about religion, it's about really appreciating the fact that we're working for Christ under the line of love. And to do this exercise is really coming together with love to reach the community and to better ourselves, because most of these leaders are people that we are well acquainted with. And from the time Pastor Alleyne said yes, Pastor Phil said yes, we said let's go on with it. The vision, without a vision, the Bible says, my people perish. And therefore, what I tell people, I say, most of the time, with these initiatives, is what we put into it is what we will get out of it. And if we truly love our community, will we go full ahead with the vision and to really bring back our sons, our daughters, our nephews, our nieces, and our aunts. So therefore, I am saying, with this initiative, with us as ministers and all those who are on board who could not have been here today, I know we all are well pleased what the Lord is doing. And it's only the Lord can bring people together.
Right. And who are some of the other organizations that are part of it?
We have Wilfred from the Baptist Church.
Moravian.
We have Pastor Nigel Daniel from the Moravian Church. They are also a part of. They're not here today.
Right. And so that you guys can let them know what churches you are representing here.
Right. Just to see that I made contact with a group that is really doing work, a group called Mobilize Tobago.
Yes, correct.
Right? So Mobilize Tobago is also going to give us some support. They have not come on to be a part of this because they are not part of Plymouth, but in a general sense, they're going to give us support. Right.
And can you let viewers know the churches that are represented here this morning?
Well, in Plymouth, there is the Plymouth Anglican Church. Now, if I say the Anglican community, I will start talking about the 5 churches up on the coast, and I will start talking about the 21 churches around the island. But actually, we are looking at Plymouth, and I want us to stress that this is for Plymouth. It's an initiative for Plymouth.
That's right.
We know the situation. I mean, we had murders in Plymouth quite recently, all right, and we recognize that. And our prayers are going for the survivors of those persons and all that, and persons who have a tendency to go down that way and all that. So we are appealing spiritually for those things.
Right. And Reverend Alleyne.
So I am representing the Pentecostal Church in Plymouth. It's Walking in the Word Ministries, of which I've been a part of for over 41 years.
It's a long time.
Yes. So I've been in Plymouth. I've been there. I've seen the lifestyle of people. I've seen what has been happening. And so God has really moved upon our hearts, upon my heart, and shared with the other leaders. They said, Pastor, yes, we're on board with this initiative.
Yes.
And so they are with us. These leaders are with us to see a better Plymouth for the glory of God.
Right. And so you, Pastor,
Well,
you are...
of course, I'm a Lekitonian.
Right.
The church is in Lekito. The church on the rock is in Lekito. We have about 3 different churches elsewhere, but I'm living in Plymouth.
Right.
So my desire is to make sure to see a better Plymouth. And may I say this to you, when this last murder would have taken place there, I was on the road with the truck. And a guy walked up to me and said, call my name, Basil. He said, I'm the killer. I said, give me your right name. And then I hugged him. He hugged me. He said, pray for me. And right there, he said, let everybody see you praying for me. And I prayed for him. He said, I'm good now. It was devastating for us to see. Just before the murder would have taken place, the Lord would have told me to go by the gas station. And for some reason, something happened to the truck. I didn't go. And the day after, the murder took place. So I'm saying to us is that because I'm living for Plymouth almost 39 years now, even though I'm born and growing in Lekito and the church is in Lekito, I am involved in so many things in Plymouth. As a fisherman, as a this, as a that, as a friend, and so many things. So my heart goes out for Plymouth. And I could not have stand still and see that this is happening. And by the way, it's my truck will be doing the match.
Understood.
So we have a lot to play with it.
Right. And so, guys, we just want to remind you that come this Saturday, March the 22nd, the United Street March is happening at Plymouth. And this march is going to be starting at
3 p.m.
Yes, and this is at 3 p.m.
Yes,
Thank you.
Adventure Junction.
And this will be starting at Adventure Junction. That's as soon as you drive into Plymouth there and you cross over the bridge right at that junction. Everyone would be gathered there at 3 p.m. Be sure that you're on time, but this also goes on for a number of days because there's that 3-night evangelical crusade, and this would be starting from Sunday, right? This would be Sunday at 5 p.m. and
That's
these
right.
events would be taking place at the Plymouth Recreational Grounds. So you don't want to miss it. You have a number of artists, you have a number of speakers that are going to be there. I even see that the Trinidad and Tobago Police Band is going to be a part of the entertainment for this crusade. And so we have speaker evangelist Darrell Edwards. Some of our feature performers would be Jaron Nurse, Bijon Pierre, Blessed Messenger. And this will be happening at 6 p.m. on Tuesday and Wednesday. So you don't want to miss it. You want to be a part of this. This is United for a Better Plymouth. We know that prayer still changes things. So this morning we had the privilege of chatting with a number of our religious leaders in the area, in the community, and they have come together for a better and a more united Plymouth. Again, this is the 3-night evangelical crusade that's happening. It doesn't matter what religious denomination you are a part of. As long as you believe in the power of prayer, you are welcome to come out and be a part of this experience. Guys, we want to thank you so much for sticking with us this morning. Thank you for your likes, your shares, and your comments, and all that you have been doing to make Tobago Updates the #1 broadcaster here on the island of Tobago. Again, I am Shenell Felix, and we want to say thank you to all our leaders that was here this morning, and thank you to you, all viewers. So guys, have a great day. Thank you so much.
Let's go, go. It's a brand new morning, rise up to a brand